Welcome to the Shorewood Park Sanitary District monthly meeting for April. I'm going to call the meeting to order. We'll start off with roll call. I'm Rich Stork and I am the chairperson.
I'm Dean Findell, the treasurer.
Matt Anderson, vice chair.
Al Power, board member.
Sue Means, board member.
Tina Heidelberger, clerk.
All right, with that, we'll be looking for approval of the minutes. I did have one thing we should probably correct just for clarification. Chairman of the board update. Our Stork shared that he had a meeting this month to update everyone. I'd just like to clarify who the meeting was with.
Okay.
And that meeting was with the EPA representative, Chris Ziegler from MAP, and then a couple of the representatives from the expansion group over, and that would have been Dean and Becky.
Okay, hold on a second. Becky, is it Myers, M-E-Y?
Yep, M-E-Y-E-R-S. Yep.
Chris from MAP.
Chris Ziegler from MAP, MAP.
And what else was it?
And Dean.
Okay, so just Dean, Becky, and Chris Ziegler from MAP.
Oh, well, and it was the EPA representative, and she's got a tricky name, so let's just leave it with that.
Okay.
And with that correction, I'll be looking for an approval for the minutes from last month.
First motion. I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries for the minutes. All right. I'm happy to say, Terry, we missed you the last couple meetings. Welcome back. We're looking for an update.
Total flow for the month is 294,940 gallons. Averaged out at 9,514.2 per day. Low was on 3/3 at 75.20. High was on 3/30 at 11,720.
So 2 months prior, we had some real high numbers. And you were thinking that something was just kind of...
Yeah, the SCADA had some weird numbers on it, 3 days. And I couldn't pin it down to see what it was.
I guess I was kind of curious to see what happened this month, but it seems like it leveled
It's
off.
leveled off, yeah. There wasn't nothing, no big spikes or nothing on it.
I mean, we're kind of in that melt-off season, so if we're going to see any big results from I&I, this would be the time, right?
That would be the time, yeah.
Okay.
And with the rain coming for the weekend, say heavy rain for the weekend, so we'll see what it does.
Okay. Any update on the ponds? Have you been out there?
Yeah, I was just out there a few minutes ago on the way here. And checked them earlier. Probably start discharging in 2 weeks.
How about, are we going to go from primary to secondary? How's a primary pond? I mean, that's where everything's been dumping for the last 6 months, right?
No, it's actually holding good. I think I got about 2 weeks left, and then I'll sample and we'll start discharging. And we probably have 4 days of discharge, and I'll transfer.
Okay.
We'll see how it goes. I might do two discharges this spring.
All right, anything else?
No, ponds look good. The weather to winter good. Still got this couple low spots in there that we should address at some point, but one's on the east side of the settling pond and one's on the southwest corner of the first pond.
I think when we talked about it last year, we were kind of looking for some numbers on what you think it might take to raise that up. So I guess I would probably ask for that again, just so we have something to look at.
Basically a load of trap rock and some clay and some liner.
It sounds simple, but it all...
It does sound simple. Nothing 100 grand can't buy.
Yes, exactly.
So what are you asking him for? To put a bid together or a...
Yeah, just a quote on actually raising the low corners. Basically, there's one low corner on the it's the primary side, primary pond, right?
Yeah.
We got real close to going over the road a couple years ago.
Yeah, you always know where the level is because that's the lowest point, so. And
That's on the primary pond?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then on the settling pond, there's a corner, the back corner in that too. There's 2 spots. that soon.
All right. Sounds good. Oh, it's my turn then. Chairman update. Really, it's been a quiet month. I did hear from a resident down on Lakeview Drive, and that's, we'll zip around back that in new business, but he's looking to hook up to the sewer system. It's an existing lot. They've got a camper there, and he's going to build a home. So we'll talk about that in new business. Still some emails going back and forth about the EPA grant. They're still looking for some more information. They're asking for some more work that we'll have to engage with HR Green with. Of course, that will come with a cost, and it's still connecting with those people with HR Green to get some sort of a cost on that before we look for an approval on that. EPA people realize even with that money, there's some, it's not in our budget, but there's grants to pay for money to get the grants. So she's going to kick some more information out on that, see where that goes. I'll let Dean update you on the status of where they are with asking for money from the state. I did hear from one person on Rushway, somebody that has 4 lots over there. They were not giving us any grief about getting them on board and paying for road fees and so on and so forth over there. So other than that, it's been a pretty quiet month. Any questions?
I got one.
Sure.
Off that road over there, the road fees, I think last time I was in here, you were talking about there were some open sewer lines,
Yeah,
cap lines, or did you figure that out, or what that was?
we have not figured that out. But again, that's in old business, and I'll talk about Rushway on how we're going to approach that. So we'll be bringing that up here shortly. So I'll move on to financial updates.
As of 4/7, which I have the date on here wrong, I apologize. Our checking account balance was $137,974.36. Our investment fund balance was at $230,499.55. And the cash value investment balance was $36,117.93. Those were based on the last statement that we received, which closed on February 28th.
Okay, any questions?
I have a little comment on that. Just to make it clear to everybody, the $36,000 cash balance is part of that $230,000.
That's good to know.
I mean, it looks like we may have had more than, by looking at this, a little more than what's there, but actually the base number is like $197,000, and then the interest is paid into this cash account. So
Okay.
that's what we've made on that money over the years.
Thank you for that clarification, Dean.
That expires again, when again?
What's that?
When does that expire again?
Next year.
Next year.
I'm not sure what time it says on. I'm sure the paper that comes in every month will have that expiration date on it. And at that point, we'll be looking at figuring out what we want to do for investing that money again. So.
Okay, any questions on that? Thank you, Dean. Presentation of bills and approval of bills.
All right, I'll pass them down for signature, but we have an East Central Energy bill of $213.77, LJJ at $1,700. Property taxes, if we were to pay in full for the year, would be $636 between the 2 separate property IDs that we have. MPCA, we have a $345 bill. Unity Bank, $35 for a safety deposit fee, and then League of Minnesota Cities, our insurance renewal came in at $1,805.
What was the MPCA for? Was there a description on that?
Yep, it's an annual fee of some kind. It's coming down your way. You'll see the invoice here.
Okay, so that has nothing,
Remember.
that has nothing to do with the permitting that?
Nope, it's just an annual fee that they charge us.
All right. All right, that sounds good. I guess I'll look for an approval to pay the bills.
First motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Just to loop back on something, I need to get the information from you for the Rush Lake Estates $18,000 that we discussed last month, so that I can get a check to them, just to follow up on that,
All right.
of who I need to send that to.
I'll hit that on old business too.
Perfect, thank you.
I mean, I might as well talk about it right now. I haven't reached out to him yet, so I just wrote myself a reminder to reach out to Jim from the Rush Lake Estates. And then when I do meet with him, Tina, I'm gonna make sure that we can do that together,
Okay,
all right? And maybe pull Dean in too, so we have 3 people there signing that off.
Yes, sir.
All right, old business, expansion. It's, there's still conversation about the expansion. I'll let Dean comment on that. Like I said, there wasn't a lot really happening last month.
I think Rich has covered some of the basic MPCA and the map stuff, and this paperwork is getting closer to the end for the $1.9 million grant. And Becky Meyer has been sending out emails about the state bonding. We still have a bill in there, so it looks like we're still up for a chance to get the money. That vote usually is by the legislature at the end of May, so we should know by that time. We have one email that stated from one of the legislators' assistants that they're going to target water and sewer projects this year. Whether that means we'll get in or not, but it's a positive sign anyway, so. And we're looking for $820,000, cover the 20% that we would have to pay with the $1.9 million grant. So we'll have to see what happens at the end of May. If we get that money, then I think we're in pretty good shape.
And get pretty close to 100% covered then. All right, any questions?
What happens if we don't get that money?
If they don't get that money, we have to make a decision on if we're gonna move forward, because I think how many swings that they've taken at it? That 1.9, there's a shortfall of roughly $800,000 based on budgets that we put together last year. So the question would be to go out to the people in the expansion, if they want to cover that, and if no, at that point, we're going to have to make a decision if we're going to move forward anymore. Because we kind of passed, we're not going to spend any money anymore as a district at this particular point in time. We pretty much closed the checkbook on that. There are some funds that we've kicked out in the past over the last couple of years. And we could do this year in, year out every year and kick another $10,000 to $15,000 to keep this thing driving. But that's what's made it so difficult to keep it going. So if they get that grant to cover the other 20%, then it's probably pretty much easy to start moving. And then we'd have to go through the whole process of updating the design and making sure that everything is up to snuff, because things have really changed based on our old permit and the design that they had in play, and then what would actually be put into the ground. So our existing construction documents are really like 70%. They're not a construction document. They would have to get updated and really come down to a hard plan of what we're going to put into the ground. Again, which would cost more money to do, but that would be part of those funds that's accounted for. So to get the whole process going into the construction, they need that 20%. Otherwise, it's a dead deal. That EPA grant's there. They keep on saying it's always there. until we decide not to move forward with the project, which is surprising to me. It's been out there since 2020. All right. Permit renewal for the MPCA. So we have not heard back from the MPCA yet. Our draft is still out there. We're waiting for them to actually send the official permit after that time frame of 90 days. I'm expecting it any time. We should be hearing from them because we're really getting close to that. At that point, I think we have our permit, and there's some rules and regs that we'll go over what we have to do with our new working permit for the Shorewood Park Sanitary District. I think it's pretty much the same as it was before, operating wise, flow. There are some additional treatments that we have to do. Once we get that permit, we'll talk about budgeting for those treatments, probably this year in the budget meetings when we get closer to September. And that's one of those treat for phosphorus, something to do with nitrates, not a big deal. We have a phosphorus plan kind of in the back pocket. The other one is we have to put a written report of an I&I reduction plan on how we're going to handle our high peaks of I&I when we get rainwater, so on and so forth. So we'll get together and put some sort of a plan to reduce a reduction plan based on the 5 years of the permit. Certain amount of work every year. One of those big ones is probably going to be looking at recapping or capping up all the old hookups from Peterson's, because based on an IR we did or a scoping, we think there's some open stub ups down there on our way that we got to get plugged up. So that's the information on the permit. It's there. We're just waiting for it to become official. We are still currently working on our permit from 2015. Rush Lake Way. Rush Lake Way, we're still we're in the process of getting them to start paying road fees and getting everybody caught up with any delinquent sewer fees, and if you can get everybody on the same page there. We kind of left it where we were going to respond with another certified letter, giving them time to respond and give us any other feedback. Tina has a rough draft on that letter that we're going to be looking for approval on to get back out to them.
Do you want me to present what I have so far?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just going to read. Dear resident, we are writing to inform you of the recent changes to the community's road maintenance and sewer service fee schedule. These updates are being implemented to ensure continued quality, safety, and consistency. A letter was sent in January outlining the new fees for homes based on parcel ID numbers, and a road fee was assessed to each parcel ID. Any lots that are not utilizing the Shorewood Park Sanitary District sewer system will need to provide confirmation that they have an independent system, and this will be confirmed by our vendor. Please review the enclosed information outlining the proposed new fees. Your response is required within 30 days of receiving this letter. If we do not receive a written response from you within the 30-day period, your silence will be considered acknowledgement and acceptance of the new fee schedule. This will allow us to move forward with the necessary updates and improvements without delay. If you have any questions, concerns, or wish to provide feedback, please contact the district via the website to submit a message within the response window. Thank you for your prompt attention to this matter and for your continued cooperation in maintaining our community. That's the draft that I have so far. Any changes that you'd like me to make to that? I'll email it out to the board members also, but
I think based on that information and what we talked about, I guess I'm going to look for approval to send that letter out.
I'll approve that. Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
okay.
All right. Old business. I still, like I mentioned before, I still need to contact Jim to set up a meeting to pay off that debt. 18K. So I'll make sure I reach out to him tomorrow, and then once I come up with a date, I'm gonna make sure Gina that you're available, and
Okay.
we'll try to do it after work sometime and make sure we write something up and clean that up.
Can you explain again what that is?
Sure. Rush Lake Estates, during the expansion, there was a shortfall of money, and it roughly came up to, during that whole process of that expansion, basically almost brought our checkbook down to zero. So that $18,000 was to cover some of the fees that some of the people in the expansion didn't pay. So that basically paid off all the bills for the expansion process. So the Rush Lake development, which had 5 lots, they picked up that balance. And then over the last 5 years, a hand of people did pay their portion, the others just let us put it on their taxes. So over the last 5, I think we have 1 more year, we're still collecting taxes.
I think this year is the
This is
last.
the last year. So over the years, that money was paid back to us and put into our account. So now, what has to happen is we have to pay back that $18,000 that was owed to them.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Speed bumps, road survey. So every year, we do a little maintenance on our roads. And in the last few years, we've been using Premier. I don't think there's any reason to go away from that. I'm gonna let Al kind of bring you up to speed on where we stand with that.
Well, I talked to Darren last week at Premier and asked him for an estimate for 4 speed bumps to be put throughout the community there. And I don't know, Tina, did he send you that estimate?
No.
He didn't? Okay. I just seen him today. I'll call him again tomorrow and remind him. And we did go around Shorewood, and he's gonna come back. He didn't have enough paint that would stick to the roads today, I guess, but, and as far as Shorewood goes, we got a budget of $30,000, and we hit that budget just through Shorewood. We're gonna make a lot of potholes, right in front of, between Chris and I'm sorry. Yeah, there's a culvert that's kind of caving in. He's going to take that. He's not going to take the culvert out. He's just going to pack it in, and then down between where the dead end road is and the point down there, he's going to do all of that. So that came to about $30,000, a little over $30,000. And I said, we're still going to go over to Rush Point Way and look at that too. I want to get start on that project from the stop sign to just before the manhole cover, because I didn't know how far you were going to go in Terry, if that would mess you up, if you were going to mess up the road at all.
Wait till, we get that figured out in there. It should cross underneath the road and be off on the east side of the road, but waiting, we'll look and see.
Hold off on that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say that basically what's the budget at, including the Rushway? Because we should give some attention to Rushway, basically, now that we are including them in our road repairs and billing. So I don't know, if there's potholes or whatever. You say the worst part of it is from 1 for the corner right now, right?
Yeah, the whole road is pretty bad, actually. But,
Okay.
we can only take a little bit at a time.
Yep.
And, but that part there from the stop sign to the manhole, that's about $6,000, he said, but he said he dropped the total price down to $34,000. I said, well, I'd have to get that approved for $4,000 extra if we wanted to do all of this, or if I should go back and just take some of the stuff away to get to our $30,000 budget. So I just thought I'd bring it up to the board and see what everybody's thinking. They do a great job. Darren's a really good guy, does great work. He said he could get it done in relatively quick fashion. So that's where we're at on that. But speed bumps, there'll be 4 of them. One just as you come in, I just seen a car going 30, 35 through there today. But there'll be one right by my place, in front of my place, coming down the hill. There'll be one across the way, across the park. And then there'll be one down, facing the lake, but not down on the dead end, but that way. I haven't heard many complaints about the lower circle as far as speed down there. Everything seems to be fine down there. People are happy with what's going on there, so. But if we need more, we need more. We just don't need nobody hurt. Last summer, there was a little kid that almost got run over. So.
But in 50 years, nobody's been hit on the road, correct?
Pardon me?
But in 50 years, nobody's been hit on the road.
No. But there've been a lot of close calls. It's totally up to
That's every highway. I'm going to say I'm not in favor of speed bumps.
Okay.
You got garbage trucks that are going to slow down and go over those, and bam, they bounce on the other side of it. They're going to wreck the road. So I don't think it's a good idea.
Okay. We'll take that into consideration too, Joe. Thanks for your honesty.
And we should be banking the roads out. When these guys put pavement down, they should bank the road, because all our roads are getting busted off on the edge because there's no gravel out beyond them. So that should be part of what you should be looking at during this pavement.
Okay.
Making sure that the roads are banked.
I think the way that we've always approached it, if they do a section and repave, they come in and they recycle everything from one edge of the road to the other edge of the road. At that time, they have been taking the class 5 on the edge of the roads to protect that. But as you can see, even in areas that we've done that, it's kind of broke its way away. So, I mean, that is part of the process typically when they are doing big sections.
I haven't seen them bank anything that they've done.
Well, I know when I was doing the roads, we made sure that they did that. And I know that when they did the stretch in front of the upper circle up there, and we made sure that they came back and banked it on each side of the road there too. So again, we only have so much money to spend. We have to decide what the best, way to spend our money. I think what I want, and we didn't get from them last year, is a written quote. And I think that's important to understand what the quote is. So I want to make sure that we do get a quote from Premier. And the other thing that I want to make sure is that we still are current with our certificate of insurance with them. And that should be updated every year, because that's a major project that we're bringing somebody in for.
And are we required to get 3 bids on this, or we just keep going with the same guy?
There's no requirement for 3 bids. I mean, we've been through that over the past few years. We've talked about that with past board members, and there's no written requirement saying that we need to get 3 bids. But going through this process, Premier has always been the best price and the best service. So that's where we've stuck for the last couple of years.
And I would suggest not doing it right away here in the spring. He says he can do it right away.
Yeah, I think
let the road settle out through the summer.
Oh, yeah, he said we'll be at the top of the list. He's going to do it next week or the week after.
it's early right now.
Yeah, we're going to be at the top of the list. They're not laying pavement at all.
No, I know they're not, but even if you do it in May, early June, the road still hasn't settled out yet.
I think what we need to do is, I'd like to see a written quote. Let's go back to the speed bumps. Now, the speed bumps we approved last year, that's not in this budget of the 34,000, right?
Correct.
Okay,
But that
so
was approved for last year.
we approved speed bumps last year and they never got installed. And I think that was like roughly $1,500,
I don't know if it was 50, but I think it was 1,900.
$1,900. So that was approved last year. We never spent that money, we never put them in.
Got too late later.
Right, so, I think what I want you to request from Dean or Darren is we need to see that written quote. We need a certificate of insurance. I can help you with that, asking that. And then, let's separate the quote of the 34,000. I think if we can bring that down on the rush way a little bit, once we understand how much is gonna get tore up over there, that might drive that cost down a little bit. I think if we get closer to the 32, that's a little bit easier to swallow a little bit over the budget. But I think we need to see something in front of us at this particular point in time.
Do you want to look at reallocating any of the plowing funds from the past 2 years since we've had zero out-of-pocket expense?
That's a possibility.
Because you have $20,000 right there
Yeah.
in the budget from 10,000 from this year, 10,000 from last year, that we've not spent anything on.
Well, even the year before that, I don't think there was any out-of-pocket costs.
Yeah.
No, there wasn't. So yeah, in 2024, we had budgeted 10,000. Look here, I'm trying to go back. 2023, we didn't have anything allocated at that time. It was just maintenance and repairs. We had 29,000 is what we'd allocated, but we didn't, at that time, we didn't consider plowing because we weren't being charged by the township. But in 2024 and 2025, that would total $20,000 that we've not spent, that if you want to look at reallocating some of that money towards Rush Lake Way. But again, that just reinforces the fact that those residents need to be paying road fees.
Yep.
So, and this is why, so.
Well, I think we've established that they are going to be expected to pay those fees.
Yes, yeah, we have.
So that, that money will be coming in, they're a part of the community, they're a part of the district, and so that's set. And I think that would be a responsible way to spend that plowing money to get their road up to snuff and get them in a point where they can accept having to pay those fees by getting that road kind of squared away.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think that would be responsible of us to do that. I also think that, you know, it was our responsibility to get those speed bumps in, and we didn't get them in, and there wasn't any talk of not doing that. Everybody was for that. It was approved. So I think at bare minimum, we should do it for this calendar year, for this season. If we don't like them after this year and they do end up damaging the roads, we could talk about it then. But we spent the money to put up the signs, the speed bump signs. You know, it is also my personal point of view that over the last 50 years, morality has decreased and speed has increased across the board. And I think 50 years ago was a different world where, you know, again, it's my own personal point of view that respect was a little bit more prominent, and people weren't on their phones and texting, and I think that watching these people speed down a road, we can't do anything. It would be different if we could call the police, and we could have police sitting on our roads, and they could be a part of this problem, but they can't because we're private roads. So the only tool we have in our tool chest is to do these bumps and to put the cost on the speeder if they damage their car.
And
So that's kind of where I stand on it.
I guess that shouldn't be the goal, to try to charge a speeder, if that's what you're saying. That's going to be their penalty, is a busted car. That shouldn't be the way it's looked at. And you say 50 years ago it was, it was different morale, for sure. But here again, in the last 6 years, has anybody been hit?
No, but I almost
No.
jumped into the ditch once when I was walking.
So how is a speed bump 300 feet away going to stop any of this from happening? I believe you're going to have people slow down, hit the speed bump, bam, they're going to hit the gas to get where they want to go. And it's been proven with speed bumps.
I think we got to start somewhere, and I think that was the decision, was with the speed bumps. And the thing about the speed bumps, again, they are removable. It's not a permanent thing. It's going to be something to get used to. I think it's going to be a deterrent myself. That's my opinion.
I think it's punishing people that obey the speed limit, and now they got to deal with that. That's just my opinion. That's why cities don't use speed bumps, because it doesn't work.
I've talked to a few residents that come through, and can you just slow down, you know?
Yeah, that's all we
15
can
miles
do.
an hour, 20 miles an hour, okay. Coming through at 30, 35 miles an hour, I've seen that time after time. And something's gonna happen, and that's why we need to do something.
I've also blocked the whole road off of my Suburban too.
So when you say across from your house, is that towards my house?
Yep, across from yours.
Yeah,
So I have issues right now backing into my my
Sure. I'll take that.
driveway, and I have some dump boxes, you guys know, like equipment I have a hard time now. If you put it right there, I'm really gonna have.
No, I was gonna put it closer to where Matt and Ashley live with the kids.
You're gonna mark these spots before you actually put them in, or?
Yeah, we're gonna go around mark the spots, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And my fear is I'm not gonna be able, and I'm gonna get hung up with some big equipment, I'll just rip that thing right out of there.
No,
Right, yeah.
it's down towards my house.
Okay, thank you.
I think the places they pick are not gonna affect any particular driveways,
Okay.
kind of in the open areas.
You could leave a hole at the end of my driveway, like I said, and just, that'll make a speed bump.
So the process of, let's ask for that quote, let's get that quote here. I think we've got solutions to make sure we can pay it, but let's get that paperwork in front of us. I think we still can approve and look for, it's only April. I think if we get the approval and get all the paperwork in hand by May, I think we can approve the repairs for the roads.
Sure.
One more question, are these speed bumps gonna be tar, or are they gonna be rubber, or
They're the rubber
so they
speed
can
bumps.
remove it in the wintertime?
Yep. Off and on.
How easily removed are they?
It's a stake, there's a stake's about a foot. There's a good amount, there's a pop
They
them
just-
already.
What happens if you don't like the location, you're gonna locate them first before you actually, mark them before you actually put them in? Because I don't want one in front of my house or near my house.
Right, I'm sure
I don't need to hear
that's
every
why,
car slow down and
that's
accelerate.
why I'm gonna put one in front of my house, because, you know, no one's bringing it up, so I'll pay the price. It's all right. But then one's gonna come in just inside of, when you come off, come in off of one, at the main entrance, there'll be one inside here, 100 yards or so, a couple hundred yards in. One's gonna be at the top, going down the hill, or even at the base of the hill, and where the dead end is there. One will be in front of my place, and one will be in front, over by Ashley and Matt's house. There's 4 of them going in. I gotta say that they had a lot of people tell me, thank you, something needs to be done. Last year at the National Night Out, I brought it up, I thought we were gonna have it in that last year, and many people come up and tell me thank you.
How many speed limit signs do we have in the park?
Pardon me?
How many speed limit signs do we have posted?
We could have 1,000 of them maybe.
Yeah.
I think of
I
that.
think there's only 1 or 2, is all I can see.
Well, I live on that main drag, you know, coming into Shorewood, and I can tell you that when people come through that main drag, they're not going, I bet you 10% go 15 miles an hour. And there's more, and this is my personal thing, like Joe, there's a lot of grandkids, little kids, there's kids on 4-wheelers, I mean, it's our road, it's our community. I mean, I'd hate just because I don't want a speed bump, and there's fast driver, I mean, it's evident. I mean, visually you can see it, that something happens because we didn't want a speed bump. And that's just how I feel about it. Pets, your little dog got out, I mean, my philosophy is always expect unexpected, because something's gonna go. I'll get off my soapbox.
Thanks for sharing.
Yes.
Any other comments?
Yeah, it's good to have an open discussion like this, so thanks, Joe, for bringing it up.
All right, on to new business.
Rasmussen, I have a new quote from him for mowing.
Okay.
That needs approval to send in if we want to continue using Rasmussen.
Is there a change?
No, I honestly don't know, to be honest.
I would expect something with the way gas is going.
Yeah, I think there are some fuel surcharges on there if you read it. But he also sent this out in February, but it went to our old PO box,
Okay.
so we didn't get it right away. So that was before the prices have spiked again, but.
All right, so checking, Rasmussen, they do our mowing at the ponds and our mowing for the parks. So mowing the ponds, per time is 119, basically 120. Mowing the pond drive ditches, 109 per time. That isn't done every month. He kind of monitors that. Mow and trim the Shorewood entrance, that's 40. Mow and trim Upper Park, that's 200. That's every 2 weeks. Mow and trim small Upper Park, 25 every time. Mow and trim Lower Park, 75 every time. Spraying weeds around the ponds, which is required, that's 300, and that's depending on if he needs the treatments. And he's basically just asking to check, and this is exactly what we did last year, so I have no problem with how he's been taking care of our mowing. So is there anybody else that have any comments on the mowing?
It's actually $25 less than what was quoted initially for the lower park.
Okay, yeah.
He quoted us 100 on that, so if he's only been charging us 75, that's...
Okay. I guess I'm gonna look for approval to move forward with Rasmussen for our mowing services.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
I would like to make a motion as a resident, since we're talking about the mowing and everything, that we set up a time to do a spring cleanup. I know we did a fall cleanup, and it was very well received. It looked amazing, the people that helped with it. I supervised, but what they did was, it looks great. So, but I think it would be really nice to,
Probably soon.
yeah. So I don't know, any thoughts on that? Would anybody like to make a second?
I'll make a second.
Okay. Any objections?
Are we gonna get a committee to plan it, or what?
The two of us can work together to
Okay.
establish a day, and we'll post it, and I can give it to Matt. I can send something out, but just to do a day where we, because Rasmussen obviously would charge us an additional fee to go through and do, there's a ton of sticks in there that have fallen. Just to, I know there's quite a bit of burning that needs to be done still, correct?
Yeah,
Not as
there's
bad as
some
last
brush
year.
that I cleared off.
Oh,
Next to
from the
cornfield.
roadway, yep,
Yep.
yep. Scott, are you done with all of the, you were working on down in that lower area?
Yeah, there's a mound down there, and it had a lot of dirt in it, so it should, most of the dirt must settle. And I
Okay.
tried to bring it up, let it dry out, because it wouldn't burn last fall.
Yeah,
And bring it up to the pile.
okay.
This
Yeah,
spring,
and right
it
now,
started burning.
you couldn't get to near that thing right now.
Yeah, it's
I
really
think
wet
that's-
right now.
Yeah.
Those branches that are cut down off the trees there on the main drag, are those, who cut those? Oh, you did. Why didn't you pick them up?
Oh, them branches there, them were on Denny Wood's side there. Yeah, I took everything that I cut down, I put them up in a pot.
Okay, thank you, Al.
You're welcome. Thanks for asking.
All right, so we're looking for a motion for a spring cleanup, date and time to be determined.
Yes. Which Sue and I did that.
Okay, second motion?
Sue seconded, I made the motion, Sue seconded,
Okay,
and it's
all in
passed unless
favor?
if anybody.
Aye. Motion carries, thank you. New business, new home, Lakeview Drive, down Lakeview Drive, 50756 Lakeview Drive. A person purchased that lot a couple years ago. It's never been hooked up to the sewer system. He's going to be building a home. He did send us plans of what he's building there. So he's looking for approval to hook up to our sewer system. Of course, he's got to follow a couple things. He'll be paying the SAC charge, $2,500. I got to get Terry down there to help him decide or locate where exactly we can tie into that infrastructure, or determine if there is a stub up there. Some of the couple things that we have to do for him. But I am looking for, I'm making a motion to approve the hookup of that new home being built at that lot.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
The SAC charge, does that cover?
Yes, yep.
Okay.
So I have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries, I'll get that information out for you. One more thing on new business, 2-acre lot beautification project. Sue?
I'm sorry, one second. Who, Dean made the motion, who seconded?
I did.
Thank you. Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, at the last meeting, we had, I had brought up the subject of the couple acres across the road. It got pretty weedy last year. I mean, it was taller than the corn sometimes. And Scott came over, mowed that down, cleared that all up. And discussion around that had been, well, why don't we plant something there to keep the weeds down and to actually make it look nice. You know, we wanted the park to look nice, and we went and cleaned that all up. And at the last meeting, you told me to bring information about what that would all entail, cost, etc. So I called and talked to Scott and asked him if he could get us information pertaining to what all that would be, and I just passed all that out to you guys of the process and the cost for that. Do any of you have any questions you want to ask Scott after looking at this?
Well, why don't you read it and then let's...
Okay. Okay, Scott called and talked to your guy you deal with up in
Yeah, Finland
Yeah.
Ag Center,
Okay,
also Higley Ag Center.
okay. And it's to do the work and grow red clover. And I don't know that red clover, 3 years at the,
It's supposed to last, keep growing for 3 years.
okay,
So you only have to do it once every 3 years.
okay. The cost for 30 pounds is about $116. Fertilizer, 200 pounds would cost $82. So about less than $200 to get that ready.
Around $200.
Yeah.
There's taxes.
Oh, I get it, so.
So $200, we're gonna put clover down there. It's good for 3 years. We can talk about the process again in 3 years. What does it take for maintenance once it's there? Just mow it every once in a while or nothing? Or the animals?
Up in my land is nothing, but here is different ground.
Yeah,
You know, better, more richer, fertile soil than what I have up there. Up there, I don't do anything.
okay.
The guy that cuts the hay cuts it down, so I don't do anything to it. But the grass took over up there. I didn't do the proper process.
Okay.
When I turned it over, I exposed the roots, and the roots took off growing. So then I planted.
How tall does that clover get?
You know, my understanding is it can get about this tall, or it can be this tall.
Oh, okay.
You know, I'm uncertain on that. I mean, I only did it once. So, I mean,
Regardless, it's gonna be better than
Yeah.
6-foot weeds sticking up.
well, I don't know what they got growing there. The sticks that were growing, you snap them off and they got the stuff in the inside. Those things were 12, 14 feet high. I mean, they were above my bobcat when I was pushing them.
Yeah.
And they were just clumps. So I'm afraid right now that that's all that's going to grow back. And it's going to expand the whole field.
Without the clover in there?
Without something.
Yeah.
The clover is supposed to choke out the weeds, my understanding is. So you might not get any blowover. I don't know what he's going to do with that field this year. You know, but he's going to have to disc it and do all that other stuff. So if it starts growing weeds, you're going to get blowover there and keep going. So,
Well, I think, I like the idea myself. That's my opinion. Only thing is where do we want to pull the money from?
Well,
Oh, I'll give him the $200.
oh, that was so nice.
All right, I'll look for approval. I guess I'm gonna look for a motion first,
Motion to approve?
based on the $200.
Do you have a question?
Well, real quick, what would be like, if we did this annual ryegrass, let's just play the opposite. So this is, annual ryegrass is $45, a bag. but we'd have to do it every year, right?
Is that what it says?
Well,
If it doesn't say 3 year or years, then it has to be every year, yes.
yeah. So is it in the long run cheaper then to do the 3 year so that we don't have to go out there every year, or is?
Well, actually, the annual ryegrass would be more expensive, but for 3 years, that'd be 125 where
The product's only 115 on the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's only 115?
yeah.
Yeah, 116.
Oh, it's listed at
Oh, well, that's
178.
fertilizer.
fertilizer no matter what, so.
Yeah.
You got a question, Chris?
It doesn't plant itself, or it doesn't fertilize itself.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's in the process part, yes.
So in that process, you're picking rocks, spraying to kill
It's
weeds.
not included
Yeah.
in the $200.
Yeah.
Right.
No, that's the cost of material. The other is labor, and I know Scott has experience in that, and if there's anybody else, I mean, that,
I got a rake and a hole, that's all I got.
that's all you're
And
gonna
a
need,
shovel.
and a strong back.
That's a lot of shoveling.
Okay, so like the pickup rocks, spray to kill weeds, I mean, we have to figure out who, when, etc. for all of that to, I mean, we just can't say, oh, okay, and then it's like the little red hen, who's gonna help me, grind the weeds and all that. So we need that all structured in place before we go, before we say we're, what? You never heard that
I
story?
haven't, just sorry, it was just funny.
True.
It is.
All right. Not I said the front. Okay, so I mean, that all has to get addressed too.
So we can make a motion for this, but we still need to
Yes, and,
implement
yes.
who's
we
gonna
can
do it, how we're
Have
gonna
a
do it.
committee and have,
That's the process that I would take, and I mean, most of that is what I'll probably, that's how I'll do it.
yeah.
I'll start by picking the rocks up that are
Oh, hell,
damaging
I
my
like to do
equipment.
that.
Start a pile somewhere,
Yeah.
where I think I already started a pile,
Yep.
and then you move on from there. There's not a lot of rocks in there, but
You
there
know,
are
how
some
mu-
big
how
ones.
much
And I
do
might
you
turn
think-
some up when I turn the
How
field.
much do you think there is out there if we give kids a nickel or a rock?
They don't do that anymore.
Oh, don't they?
No.
Was there a quarter?
We're too old for that nickel.
I want a beer every rock.
But I mean, I would work with Scott on that and, try to set something up with the community like how we do or the cleanup. And I think everybody would enjoy the benefit of seeing something, more looking nice than like, oh my God, did you see all those weeds?
More control.
Yeah. So,
I think it'd be better for the wildlife in the area.
Yep.
all the bunnies would be there instead of your yards.
As I commented, that it is our property and we should do some maintenance to it.
Yep. Hearing all positives.
So I'd like to make a motion to do something to beautify the 2 acres based on these plans.
So your motion is really to cover the cost of the $200?
Yes.
Okay. That's the first motion, and then along with that, we'll get together, put a plan to execute
Yes.
the plan with volunteers.
And,
proceed.
the $200 I just heard, and I know it's a different outlet for those funds, the road, but we have an extra $20,000.
We have $1,000 allocated to updates and maintenance of the parks, so
We might have some playground equipment to go over yet too.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I made the motion?
Can I get a second on the motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
I'll get in touch with
Sure you will, sir.
That's Sue's project, she'll work with the checkbook, the purse strings. All right, I don't have anything else.
Oh,
Oh,
just a little tidbit. I talked to Doug O'Brien at the March RLA meeting that I was late for. I thought it started at 8:30 and it was done at 8:30. But anyway, I talked to him about the nano bubbler project that they want to put in the T channel. And he is still waiting for loose ends, talk to you, Rich, and get the equipment over there. But I want to have a meeting with both channel residents because eventually that is going to be incorporated over into the east channel also. And the cost for that is RLIA is going to pay for the bubbler. They're going to come set it up. They have a trailer for it. Grant Wellesley has given permission to have it put on his property. There's going to be a separate, what do you call that?
It'll be hooked up to his electrical service, but then there's a sub-meter on the trailer that they subtract. So RLA will pay for electricity is basically what it comes down to.
No, RLA, no, they're asking the residents of the channel if they could pay for that electricity. That's why they're having a second
Meter? Okay.
And so that'll be in Grant Wellesley's name, and say if it's like $300 that month to get the agreement of residents on the channel who would help pay for those funds to run that. RLIA bought the bubbler. You know, they're gonna take care if it breaks, if it's, you know, something this or that, and then they asked if we could help by paying the electricity. So roughly saying it might be 20 bucks a month.
Yeah, it shouldn't be that much.
But yeah, I'm not an electrician, he is, but I mean, so that's what I want to do. I want to, and I've asked him to come speak when I have that. So, you know, all the people on the East Channel that never were included on the dredging might be more interested in.
None of them were there.
Huh?
None of them were there besides us. So.
But, oh, I mean, if we have a meeting, I'm going to invite everyone, just so they can understand what it is, and it's going to benefit the whole lake. If anyone wants to learn about it, they can go to Kegama Lake Association, you know, question nano bubbler, and there's a lady that ran or monitored or whatever the project, and she would put in news things. It sounds very...
The green went away, the iron.
Yeah.
Left.
Well, if we put
We
that
lost
bubbler
3
in our
inches a
ponds,
month in 6 weeks.
it'll clean up our ponds too.
Yeah.
Same process they
Yeah,
use.
you know.
Yeah. Same process they use for wastewater treatment.
And it'll be I mean, not permanent, but like when we, you know, we were all on like, oh, let's get it dredged and suck the muck out. Well, it would come back in where this just destroys it. It doesn't go anywhere but away, you know. And plus, at the same time, I want to address the issue of weeds in the channel. The bubbler works better if there are less weeds that it has to eat through. So, you know, I know they're spraying and they die in fall, etc. So I would like to discuss having, you know, if people are interested in getting them pulled and taken away, or a mattress or whatever it is.
I know across from my house, there's a swamp over there. And every time that swamp fills up, you can watch the mud coming to my dock from across the pond.
From the hill?
Yeah, across the channel.
He's got a low spot.
Oh.
And there is a path about this wide where the muskrats go.
Oh.
And that's where all the mud's coming from. It's coming from the swamp from the neighbors.
You're minus one.
And it's filling up, it fills it up to within this much of the water. That's all I can see is this much water, and the rest is mud.
Yeah, I don't know what to do about that, but, and I know what to do, but I don't know. So anyway, that was my 2 cents, and it turned into a nickel, and that I wanted to say about that, and I will have more information. I'm going to send something out about a meeting. This room where we usually have it on Saturdays is booked all through April. So I'm going to have it maybe a Friday night or during the week or something to get everybody together.
Better get all that stuff out of my garage you paid for and over to Doug's house, right?
Yeah?
Okay, gotcha. All right, I'm gonna look for a motion to close this meeting. Anybody else that wants to talk about mumblers and stuff? Can stick around and talk to Sue. I look for a motion to, end the meeting.
First motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.